The quiet signals that life is nearing its final chapter. If only I had known, I would have spent more time with her. Those were the exact words a daughter said to me after her 84-year-old mother passed away quietly in her sleep. There were no alarms, no hospital beds, no warnings, at least none that she could recognize. But as a hospice nurse, I see them, the subtle signs, the changes that whisper, not shout, and when we miss them, the regret is almost always the same. I thought we had more time. If you're watching this video today, you may be caring for someone elderly, a parent, a spouse, a grandparent, or maybe you're noticing changes in yourself and wondering what they really mean. This video is not about fear. It's not about counting days. It's about awareness, compassion, and preparation. Because there are indeed signs, 6 of them, in fact, that often show up in the final year of life. Not dramatic breakdowns, not sudden collapses, but quiet shifts in the body, the behavior, and the soul. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean giving up hope. It means leaning in with more love, more presence, and more grace. Today, we begin with the first 2. Withdrawal from life. When the world starts to fade, one of the earliest and most overlooked signs is emotional and social withdrawal. You may notice your loved one begins talking less, answering questions with fewer words, or avoiding conversations altogether. They stop participating in family routines, skipping meals, not answering calls, or even pulling away from their favorite hobbies. It might look like depression, but often it's something more profound. It's the body and mind beginning to disconnect from the outer world as attention turns inward, toward reflection, completion, and sometimes acceptance. A person nearing life's end may not say it outright, but their behavior whispers, "I'm getting ready." For some, this shows up as a sudden desire to be alone more often. For others, it's a soft quietness, less laughter, more stillness. They may not have the energy to engage or simply feel the pull of letting go. And if you're not looking closely, you might interpret it as moodiness or personality change. But it's not. It's a sacred transition. What you can do: don't push for interaction. Instead, be gently present. Sit beside them. Hold their hand. Share moments, not expectations. Honor the quiet. Sometimes, just your presence brings more peace than any words. Reflect with them. Ask about memories, favorite places, or things they want to share, while they still can. A sudden, deep exhaustion, more than just old age tired. We all slow down with age. But there's a kind of fatigue that comes before the end, and it's different. It's not just about napping more or having less stamina. This is a whole-body exhaustion, where even lifting a spoon or sitting up becomes overwhelming. You might see your loved one sleep most of the day, lose interest in food, or stop moving altogether. Their muscles weaken, their breathing becomes slower and more shallow. They may speak with a soft voice, almost like a whisper, as if they're conserving energy for what truly matters. This kind of exhaustion is the body's way of conserving its final reserves. It's not laziness. It's not depression. It's a sign that the systems, metabolic, respiratory, circulatory, are beginning to shut down in quiet succession. Don't panic, but don't ignore it either. What you can do? Let them rest. Don't wake them unless necessary. Their body is doing important work, even in sleep. Provide light, nourishing foods only if they want them. Don't force eating or drinking. The body knows when it's done. Speak gently. Even if they can't respond, they can still hear. Talk to them with love. As a caregiver, family member, or friend, seeing these signs can be painful. It might feel like you're watching someone slip away, day by day. But I want you to know this: you are not helpless. Your presence matters more than you think. Your voice, your hand, your memories, they're anchors in this transition. Being aware of the signs gives you the gift of preparation, not panic. It gives you time to say what needs to be said, to love fully, and to let go gently. When the body speaks softly, appetite, eyes, and the approach of goodbye. In the first part of this video, we explored two signs that often show up quietly in a person's final year of life: emotional withdrawal and profound fatigue. These aren't loud. They don't come with sirens. They arrive slowly, like a tide pulling back. And now, we move to two more subtle signs, this time in the body itself. Signals that whisper, "I'm preparing to let go." The third sign is one you may already recognize, but might not understand fully. A drifting appetite, when the body says, "I no longer need much." One of the most consistent signs that someone is in their final year, sometimes final months, is a gradual loss of appetite. And it's not just a passing lack of interest in food. It's a biological response. The body, sensing the end, begins to slow every non-essential function. Digestion is one of the first to wind down. You may notice that your loved one begins eating less. Meals go unfinished. Favorite dishes sit untouched. They may even refuse water. It's heartbreaking to witness, especially for family members who feel the instinct to feed them back to life. But you must remember, this is not starvation. It is a natural part of dying. In hospice care, we often say, let the patient lead. If they ask for food, offer it. If they don't push. Their body knows when it's done processing, chewing, digesting. Trying to force meals can cause discomfort, bloating, choking, or even resentment. But this change in appetite carries emotional weight too. For many families, meals are memories. Food is love. When that ritual ends, it feels like loss, and in many ways it is. But it can also be a time to create new moments, sitting together quietly, offering a favorite scent, or simply holding hands at the table. What you can do: respect their limits. Small sips of water or ice chips may be all they want, and that's okay. Focus on comfort. Gentle broths, soft fruits, or warm tea can bring peace without strain. Be emotionally present. Your company, more than calories, is what nourishes them now. The faraway look, when the eyes begin to see beyond this world. This is perhaps the most mysterious and spiritual of the signs. Often, as someone nears their final stretch of life, whether it's a few months or a few days, their eyes begin to change. Not always physically, but energetically. They may stare off for long periods, even when others are in the room. Their gaze seems distant, not blank, but focused on something you cannot see. Sometimes, they talk to people who aren't there. Other times, they smile at something invisible. And when you ask what they're looking at, they may respond with a soft, strange answer. "He's waiting for me," or "I'm not alone." This is not always confusion. In many cases, it's a kind of spiritual presence, a transition space. In hospice, we see this so often that it's simply accepted. The veil thins. The person begins to drift between this world and the next. Their soul, even before the body fails, starts releasing its grip. What you can do: don't correct or question their experience. It's real to them and sacred. Offer your presence, not explanations. Hold their hand. Speak softly. Let them lead. Write down what they say. Many families treasure those last phrases for years. This faraway look is often accompanied by moments of lucidity, Brief windows where someone who hasn't spoken in days suddenly becomes alert, asks questions, or speaks clearly. This too is part of the process. A final surge, often misread as recovery, before rest. When the body slows, the spirit speaks, and how to say goodbye with grace. We've talked about emotional withdrawal, deep fatigue, reduced appetite, and that distant gaze in the eyes. 4 quiet but powerful signs that someone may be entering the final year or final months of life. Today, we explore the last 2 signs, and these, perhaps more than any others, mark the moment when the body begins to let go and the spirit begins to speak. Sign number 5. Changes in breathing and body rhythm, the shift towards slowing down. The 5th sign is one that often surprises families because it can come and go without warning. Changes in breathing, heart rhythm, and physical movement. You might notice periods of unusually fast or shallow breathing, followed by long pauses. These pauses can last several seconds, and for a moment, you may think they've stopped breathing altogether. Then they inhale again, as if catching up. This is called Cheyne-Stokes respiration, and it's common in the final months or weeks of life. It reflects the body's natural transition. The brain is no longer regulating breath in the same way, and the nervous system is beginning to power down. You may also observe that your loved one's hands and feet grow cold or change color, often turning pale or bluish. Circulation is pulling inward, focusing only on the core systems still active. Movements slow, reflexes fade, and sometimes they may even begin curling inward, folding into themselves. A position of protection, of rest, of letting go. This is not something to fear. It is the body's quiet way of preparing for peace. What you can do: keep them warm and comfortable. Use soft blankets, dim lighting, and calming music. Speak gently, even if they're unresponsive. Hearing is one of the last senses to go. They can still feel your presence. Don't panic during breathing changes. It's a natural rhythm of decline, not necessarily pain. Be calm. Breathe with them. Sign number 6. A final emotional or spiritual shift, the moment of letting go. The last sign is the most profound, and yet the hardest to describe. It's not found in the body. It's something you feel in the room. Often, just before someone passes, days, sometimes hours before, there is a shift. A moment where they become lucid or emotionally open or deeply at peace. It's as if the spirit is saying, "I'm ready now." Some people ask to see a certain person. Others express sudden gratitude or forgiveness. Some smile, some cry. Some simply say, "I love you," or "I'm tired." This moment can be powerful, and those who witness it rarely forget it. In hospice care, we often call this the spiritual release. It's the final step, a turning inward, a surrendering, a quiet permission granted to themselves to rest. Sometimes it comes with visions or references to deceased loved ones. Other times, it's simply silence and softness. As a loved one, you may feel helpless, but in this moment, you are everything. Your voice, your presence, your hand, they become the final messages this person receives. It is not about saving them. It is about loving them all the way home. What you can do, let go with them. Don't ask them to stay for your sake. Tell them they are loved and that it's okay to rest. Say the things you need to say. Forgive, thank, share. These final words matter deeply, even if unspoken aloud. Trust the process. It's not perfect, it's not predictable, but it is sacred. Final words. Don't wait for goodbye to love fully. If you've recognized any of these signs in a parent, grandparent, spouse, or even yourself, this video was not meant to frighten you. It was meant to prepare you, to soften the road ahead, to give you the gift of presence, before the last goodbye comes. Death is not failure. Death is not defeat. It is the closing chapter of a life, and every chapter deserves to be read with care, love, and attention. So please, call that loved one today. Don't wait, even if it's just to say, "I'm thinking of you." Comment below if you've seen these signs and want to honor someone you've lost. Like this video to help YouTube share it with more caregivers, families, and people who need this gentle guidance. Subscribe for more content that speaks to the heart of aging, caregiving, grief, and grace. And above all, remember this: love them while they're here. See the signs, hold the moment. Let your goodbye be filled with peace, not peace.